Come on, Cohagen. Give these people air. Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, the weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? What would you do if someone stole your mind? Let's find out in this week's review and breakdown of Total Recall from 1990.
Total excitement.
I lost him. There! Fasten your seatbelt.
Total adventure.
You got in trouble!
Now you've done it!
Total experience.
Get ready for the big surprise.
You wouldn't hurt me. After all, we're married.
Total Schwarzenegger.
Consider that a divorce.
Total Recall.
So I've added some more sections to the show.
All right.
Okay.
You guys are going to hear it for the first time. This section is called By the Numbers. I'm fascinated by...
Are we going to do paint by numbers?
I'm fascinated by stats. So I'm just going to rapid fire these to you.
All right.
It took 15 puppeteers to control Quado.
Wow.
Whose name is from the Spanish word cuate, which means twin.
Oh, I see.
So that's interesting. How old do you think Arnold was when the film was made?
40.
No, he was... 38?
41.
Oh, nuts.
Taylor was very close.
He was 40?
Yeah, and I don't know why I found this, but what are Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sharon Stone's IQs? I don't know if this is real.
That sounds, yeah. No.
It sounds
this
very-
I
sounds,
don't want to hear my opinion.
This sounds like
on
People
IQ.
Magazine
Yeah.
online poll crap.
Arnold supposedly
5,000?
Arnold has an IQ of 135.
I'm sure he does.
And Sharon Stone has one of 154.
I'm guessing IQ tests are totally foolproof
Yeah,
too.
like
exactly.
not a junk science
I
at all.
have the IQ is very high. Including this movie is included among the 1001 movies you should see before you die.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. Where would you rank this on 1001 movies before you die? You should see.
That's a lot to put on a person all of a sudden.
I don't know.
Loaded
where I would
question.
put that.
All right.
I'd put it high, though.
Somewhere
It's
between
fun.
1 and 1,000.
I'd recommend it to people.
I would say top 100.
In terms of sci-fi, it's up there
It's like,
pretty high.
If you knew that someone wasn't going to be offended by the absurd violence and like the
Oh, yeah.
kind of the
That's true.
The gore of it.
and just the
The 80s.
of violence,
The 80s blood splatter pattern.
Speaking of violence by the numbers, body count, what do you think?
167.
I'm gonna say 50.
That's really good. It's 77.
Oh, nuts.
Taylor's on
I thought
point
more
today.
security guards got blown away for some
Yeah,
reason.
there's that scene towards the end where they're just mowing people down.
Yeah.
How many F words?
Who knows?
It didn't seem like there's that
110?
many. I would say like 10 or something.
There's only 23.
Yeah, see, that
I
sounds
might have been
right.
too high. I'm expecting too much from a movie I just watched.
Yeah, no. If it were like a modern R-rated movie, I think it would swear a lot more. But
How many drafts of the screenplay were there before Paul Verhoeven came on board?
there was 3 credited screenwriters. So
17.
33.
Dang it. I was going to say 32.
There is so much stuff about this, how the story was changed so many times. It's crazy. I couldn't fit it all in, but that's by the numbers. Now into popcorn trivia.
He couldn't fit any more numbers into those numbers.
Exactly. When Ronald Shizut and Dan O'Bannon first started working on the screenplay for this movie back in the 1970s,
Wow.
they realized that the movie would probably be too expensive and difficult to make by the standards of the special effects and budget of the time. They delayed working on the story and instead worked on an idea O'Bannon had about a space monster terrorizing a spaceship crew
Oh,
that
hey.
became alien.
There you go.
doesn't Avatar have like a similar fake story where Jim's like, I just knew technology wasn't ready to like.
Well, no, I've heard that. I've heard that about a ton of stuff. Like Thor, they wanted to make Thor back in like the 2000s, But I guess the screenplay at the time, it would have cost like $300 million because of like the expense or whatever for the
Because
technical
of all
effects,
the-
like space shots and
Yeah.
everything, like to get the
I'm just
atmosphere. It
going
would have
to
been through the
wait for
roof.
technology to catch up to me.
But I've heard that.
Forward.
I've heard that for like a ton of
That's
films.
what
James Cameron said
always
about
says.
Avatar, with specifically being like, I had this amazing idea for this most amazing movie in universe, and I just knew that technology wasn't there yet.
They were like, "What's the budget, Jim?" And I was like, "You don't want to know."
I haven't watched like that movie. I'm curious how the CG holds up. If it looks dated.
It does.
It's been like 10, 11 years now.
I don't ever want to see it again.
And
I
yet,
hope the other ones never get made.
yeah, well,
Whatever, it's coming out next
yeah,
Christmas.
it's going to bankrupt
saving
Disney if they
movies,
don't do
man.
it now.
He's saving
That's what
movies.
they've been saying for 10 years.
I know, it's so good. Man, he's so cool.
No, and we're going to get 5 of them within like 6 months of each other, and no one will care.
While exploring the bottom of the sea, just
It's amazing, like how
taking
3D is
billions
just
of dollars from Disney. It's beautiful. I love it.
3D's pretty much died behind the scenes. Like it's amazing how
3D is so dumb.
That actually is wild. Like he like kind of ushered in that 3D movie craze, and it died.
died like 6 years
Between
later.
those movies, his sequel
Exactly.
coming out.
Exactly.
It's just like, well, what's
He's
his
all like,
name?
I'm doing it in high frame rates. Like no one cares, man.
Is that what he's going to do in this one?
That's what he
He's
said.
doing 120 frames a second for this
It's
one.
gonna be good.
It's going to be horrible. Stop it, Cameron. I know you're listening. Don't do it. Just do normal frame
He's
rates.
already spent $1 billion on
Whatever.
it.
It's one of the best, one of the greatest of all time.
guess
Explorer of the sea. No service too deep. No budget too steep.
Yeah, you need to watch the documentary stuff you haven't.
I know,
It's
I need
it's
to.
so good.
Well, I actually should have put this in by the numbers, but the filming began in Mexico City, which I went and witnessed most of the places where they were filming.
Were those a lot of like recent buildings at the time? So that was like
They
their,
look like that now still.
Well,
Like,
I know, but it's just like, was that like their cutting edge architecture? Like this is like
When you look
they've
like
just
dated
built
Martian
it.
architecture.
They were actually subway stations, and each subway station has like a different feel. And these ones were like made out of concrete because that's all they
Kinda
use
like
in Mexico City.
brutalist architecture looking.
Yeah, and it just looked futuristic, and that's why they chose to film down there, which was really cool. 500 people worked on the film. They built 45 sets that tied up 8 sound stages for 6 months.
Wow, that must
At
have been
the
a pretty
time,
penny.
This was the second most expensive film in history.
That's so insane.
And you know what the first one up until this point was?
Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
No, Rambo 3,
What?
which was also the other Carlico picture.
Beautiful.
Both had like huge budgets.
It's so wild that those like ultra-violent R-rated movies were like where they like that was the Avengers of their day.
Oh yeah, just Lethal Weapon.
It's so
and-
insane to think that was the market that they were chasing.
Was Rambo 3 good or was that the bad one?
They're all good, well except for the last one.
Correct. That answer is correct, Taylor. They're all
They get better as they go. This third one's 3 times better than the second
Rambo
one.
1 is very different from everything that came after it, but they're all good. Other than Rambo 5, which we saw and was bad.
No, that one was even better. It was Home Alone
No, it was
with Rambo.
it was, but it
It was
was
Rambo alone.
bad. It was bad.
Guess who was supposed to play Quaid before the production got squashed because Dino De Laurentiis' company went bankrupt?
So you'd have to be some 80s person, probably.
Correct.
So an 80s leading man.
Mel Gibson?
I think that'd be
No.
too early for him.
No, because Lethal Weapon was 87.
Is it someone we would actually guess?
I don't know. Patrick Swayze.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That's the American version of Schwarzenegger,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Isn't that crazy? And then Arnold read the script and was so in love with it that he begged.
That he gave Patrick Swayze cancer, and that's why he's.
No.
Burn.
No, he persuaded Carlico Pictures to buy the script for him so that he could make it. Which, again, there's a documentary on the Blu-ray. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's called Total Excess, How Carlico Changed Hollywood, and it's an amazing documentary. You need to watch it.
You did indeed mention it.
It's awesome. Some other stars who were supposed to be in this film and were considered for the role of Quaid: Jeff Bridges, Matthew Broderick,
Really?
that would've
Richard
been very
Dreyfuss,
That would have been very funny.
Mark Harmon. What?
Wow, Mark Harmon?
Yeah.
Wow, from like CSI?
Yeah.
Or NCIS, is that what he's in?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Tom Selleck.
Maybe.
And then Christopher Reeve was also offered, but turned the role down. That's insane.
Well, I mean, with such a troubled production.
And then get this. Schwarzenegger was supposed to be playing the title role in RoboCop,
Holy cow.
but problems with the costume caused producers to drop the idea. After Schwarzenegger saw RoboCop, he said he loved the movie and wanted to work with Paul Verhoeven, and that's why we have Total Recall.
Wow.
So he was just too muscular to fit in there. So he was like, my suit is superior. My upper body is superior
It's very
than any machine you could ever make.
Yeah. The notorious X rating did not enjoy a particularly long tenure in the culture of the United States cinema, starting in 1968 and lasting only up until 1990, when it gave way to NC-17. Total Recall, heavy with graphic violence and soaked in bloodshed, would have been one of the last movies rated X, were it not softened up late in production in the interest of achieving the more commercially viable rated R.
Wait, so is there an unrated cut out there?
I don't know, but there was a lot of scenes that had to be cut.
Man,
I haven't seen any. There wasn't one on this 4K
I would
Blu-ray.
think that, it's probably one of those things where like, or maybe they did the thing where they put in a bunch of stuff that they knew that they could cut out to try and like be like, oh, well, we're sorry, and the stuff that they actually wanted, they were able to keep by.
Apparently, there was a scene
mild in comparison
where the little person.
Mm-hmm.
She gets that giant Bowie knife or whatever knife to stab the cop.
She does that, yes.
And apparently she eviscerates him, and like his guts like go all over the place, and that's why they show him turn to the side because they cut that part out.
Huh.
So this is more interesting to me, but you guys might find it interesting since I lived in Mexico City for 2 years. Multiple cast and crew members had to be hospitalized during production. First, a craft service foul-up resulted in almost everybody on set enduring a bout of food poisoning. Listen to this. Only Schwarzenegger, who ate privately catered food. This was because 3 years earlier, he had fallen ill due to drinking tap water in Mexico during production of Predator. And the fanatically health-conscious Shusett, who was the guy writing the screenplay, were exempt from the illness. Verhoeven required a steady stream of medication and fluids and regular access to a nearby ambulance in order to keep directing through the pain.
Holy cow.
And then this is another one, and I felt, this happened to me personally, I both had explosive diarrhea. I'm sorry, it's so gross, but I almost died. And then this other thing happened to me. Associate producer Elliot Schick fell terribly ill due to the rampant air pollution of Mexico City. And this is crazy. Like, when I got home, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Have you been smoking?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Either you have chronic bronchitis, or it's like you've been smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day." And that's what it's like in the air pollution in Mexico City.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
Isn't it similar? It's like a valley, so it has like inversions and like trapped air and lots of pollution.
And then there was also some accidents. Schwarzenegger repeatedly cut and damaged his hand, even breaking his finger at one point during shooting the film's innumerable punching stunts. Apparently, there was the spot where he punches the subway glass, and it was supposed to break before he hit it, and it didn't, and so it like broke his finger, and he had to go to the hospital, and it like cut his wrist.
Ouchie.
Yeah.
To coincide with the movie's release, Sharon Stone posed nude for Playboy magazine to show off her buff bod.
As she should. She was like buff.
I know, I thought the movie was like mid-80s. She looks way younger in that movie than like she does in Basic Instinct. It's weird. They're 2 years apart.
Do you know that this won an Oscar?
For special effects?
For Best Picture, as deserved.
It won.
And Best Director.
Best Adapted Screenplay.
Best Actor.
It won the Special Achievement Award for Visual Effects at the 63rd Annual Academy Awards.
Nice.
And Total Recall became the first and to date the only Phillip K. Dick film adaptation to win an Oscar. Total Recall was also the final live-action picture to receive this special achievement prize. The only other film to win that since has been Toy Story.
Oh, I was going to say Jurassic Park.
Which received that Oscar 5 years later because of its computer animation.
Yeah.
So, and they also had 2 nominations, Best Sound and Best Sound Effects Editing. So.
And Best Picture, which it won as deserved.
Yes.
Yes.
And this one I liked a lot. Composer Jerry Goldsmith considered Total Recall to be one of his best film scores, and I think it's so awesome. It just fits the movie so great.
It's
pounding.
It's
awesome.
It's his John Carter of Mars, so to speak. His sweeping epic.
I don't know. John Carter's not.
No. I just meant Mars adventure kind of story.
Yeah, Mars. Yeah. John Carter. I kind of like that movie actually. I'm retracting my statement.
I wanted to like it more than I did. Like it's like what is it? Jupiter
Ascending.
That was another movie. It's like you want to like
it more than
I wanted to
like that one also.
It's like they were doing something new and interesting in it, but you're like you just didn't quite land it.
Yeah, there were some really cool things in Jupiter Ascending, but
you can't like you've been walking away from it. You're like I can't.
It becomes Channing Tatum in rocket boots flying around the city.
It has a lot of problems. It just
has a lot of problems.
Like the weird dragon people.
Eddie Redmayne who only whispers or screams.
Good stuff. Eddie Redmayne in that movie is incredible. Just hamming it up.
So I've got a couple new categories for this pod, but before we get to those, I want to do popcorn beefs.
Okay.
What beef you got with the corn?
Do you guys got beefs with this film?
I don't think so. I mean, other than I have beef with Hollywood for having strayed so far from putting their money into like things like this instead of just kind of like the CG messes that they make now.
I only have one beef, and this is really crazy. So listen to this. So this was related to the Carlico Pictures stuff, which I am fascinated with. The making of this film inspired another epic film project partnership between Schwarzenegger and Verhoeven, where they planned to make a movie about the Middle Eastern Crusades.
Oh, wow.
As the two men agreed that a film of that scale would be a great follow-up project to Total Recall. The project reportedly got as far as having a completed screenplay, sets, props, and costumes.
Holy cow.
And was nearly entering production. Unfortunately, producer Mario Casar and his Carlico studio ran into extended financial problems.
Oh, man.
And not being able to afford 2 huge projects at the same time, guess what they greenlit instead of this amazing movie?
Rambo 3?
No. Cutthroat Island.
Oh, what?
And that's what tanked their production company.
Isn't Sharon Stone in that?
No, it's the Gina Davis.
Oh.
It's like crazy, expensive, swashbuckler film that was terrible.
It was their Ishtar.
Yeah, could you imagine this movie?
Yeah, no, it sounds like Kubrick's Napoleon movie, which was also a similar deal.
But at the same time, I can see people who loved Total Recall going to see something about Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Middle East and then absolutely hating it, and the movie bombs. It could have gone. It would have been the same path. Yeah, just different ways to get there.
It would have been good.
It would have been amazing. Paul Verhoeven, The Crusades, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Give me a break, man.
Would have been just so offensive.
You never know.
Yes,
it would have been so good.
Okay, that was my only beef, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
the movie is amazing. I find no fault. The only fault I have is that these guys didn't have enough money in their pockets to make this second movie.
At the same time, though, you take Johnny Depp and you take Angelina Jolie and you take an Academy Award-winning director and screenwriter, and you still get The Tourist. You never know what's going to happen.
What an incredible movie.
It's so bad.
I remember being so just baffled. Yeah.
That twist is like
incredible.
M. Night Shyamalan should have hung his head in shame.
Yeah. So here's my 2 new categories: popcorn puzzles and popcorn redemption. And so popcorn puzzles, what that is things that I didn't understand or I didn't get.
Okay.
And you can chime in, obviously. And then the popcorn redemption is, I always like to end, because I've been editing some podcasts and I've been bagging on some movies, and I think at the end I want to just I want to say some redeeming qualities.
Wait,
and I'm the priest, so I'm giving redemption.
Naturally born killers review where you just hated it. And that's all you said was how much you hated it.
Yeah, that's why this was born, because I hated it so bad. Like, I think I said the whole movie was my beef.
Yeah, no, yeah. You found nothing that you liked about that movie.
Yeah.
Which was quite something.
I mean, you didn't like it either.
No,
so.
I didn't think it was good.
Okay, good.
But
I still don't like it.
I wasn't as...
I don't know if I'd find any redemption, to be honest, but I would have tried. I would have tried to give it some redeeming.
It has some stuff that's okay.
Anyway, Cole's.
I'm trying to find.
Out.
No. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find how you spell that production company because I keep trying to look it up to read about them.
It's Carolco.
Oh,
Carolco.
Carolco.
I think it's pronounced Carolco. 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 Oh my gosh, I don't know. Carol Burnett. I don't know.
This is the greatest wordplay ever.
So here's my puzzles. Director Verhoeven wanted to make this movie completely ambiguous so audience would not know, even at the end, whether it was all just a dream. Verhoeven himself said he believed the ending was a dream, but at the same time, he also said that the casting of Arnold Schwarzenegger suggests it's not a dream, which makes no sense, as most audiences would go see a Schwarzenegger movie and would be in favor of a reality ending as opposed to a dream ending.
Well, that's what people want in a movie is a happy ending, not... I mean, it's not Brazil.
And that's why he faded to white also.
Oh, man, the ending of Brazil is so good.
So, this is what I think. When he goes to recall the very first time, that's when everything after that doesn't happen. That's what I think.
Probably. I was like,
what do you guys think?
Watching it this time, I was like looking for like the ambiguity with like, especially with his wife. Like, and there's really only one scene where she's kind of like looking when he leaves. Mm-hmm. And you're like,
well, no, she's looking when they're dragging him away though towards the elevator too.
No, I'm saying like before he goes and before the movie kicks
off.
Oh,
I got you. Before the twist, I got you.
But I will say there is a couple things. One is him dreaming of that girl, and then the girl in the computer simulation when he's at the place looking like the actress.
Oh yeah,
that's where you're like, no.
Nah.
Well, and that guy, the proprietor, I don't know, whoever the guy he's talking to that's selling him a trip, he basically outlines what's going to happen in the film. And so I don't know. I think I looked this up because I wanted to know more about it. And according to Verhoeven, the first 20 minutes or so of the movie, from the beginning up until the point where Quaid first undergoes the implementation of his recall, is all reality. So even Verhoeven, but Schwarzenegger has been interviewed and said it's all real.
It's Blade Runner. It's the Blade Runner ending all over again because people hate ambiguity, so everyone's got to pick at it. Like, is he real? Is he a replicant? Yeah, and that just ruins the feel of the whole film. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah. So you Taylor thinks it's a dream afterwards.
Yeah,
like
I don't think it's really. It lines up too perfectly.
Cole thinks
in terms of Phillip K. Dick writing, it would all be a dream, and it would just be him like wanting to have a more exciting life. But I think in terms of Hollywood, I think it was all real.
Okay. Well, I dug even deeper
because they got what they searched for, and they got the hidden treasure buried beneath the planet.
If you think about it, it's going to ruin his marriage if it was all the dream that he purchased. Like, okay, I went on vacation, this fake vacation, and I killed you.
That's true. I would have.
You were a liar, and I killed you.
Recall.
I think considering I killed you in my dreams, we should get a divorce.
And I was in love with this other woman who doesn't exist.
Marriage
is over.
I was in love with this stripper at a private club.
The stripper from Mars.
Consider recall a divorce.
Yeah, we need to get a divorce now.
Consider a matrimony recalled.
These 2 weeks changed my life.
Oh, jeez. So I wanted to hear what Dan O'Brien thought about, who was the original screenwriter of the whole story. So apparently he was never happy with the ending that was filmed. The Martian machine creating a breathable atmosphere in 30 seconds flat. He felt it had no thematic connection with Philip K. Dick's concept of memory implants as outlined in the original short story We Can Remember It For You Wholesale. So this is the part that I wanted to share with you guys. It's a little long, but bear with me. In an interview with Cinefantastique magazine in April of 1991, O'Bannon revealed his concept. So this is O'Bannon speaking. That wasn't supposed to be a 3-fingered Martian hand on the machine that was at the place at the end. That was supposed to have been a print of Quaid's hand, which matched only his hand. Quaid, Earth's top secret agent, went to Mars and entered this compound. The machine killed him and created a synthetic duplicate. He is that synthetic duplicate. He cannot be killed because he can anticipate danger before it happens. He is also omnipotent, and because he cannot be killed, Earth wants to kill him but cannot. That's why they don't go to all the trouble to erase his brain to make him think he's nobody. It's the only way they can control him. Audiences don't question it when movie heroes go through adventures and don't get killed. I thought it was clever to actually have a reason for it. At the end of the picture, Quaid puts his hand on the device, and it all comes back to him. Who he really is, his total recall of his identity is that he is a creation of a Martian machine. He is, in effect, a resurrection of the Martian race in a synthetic body. He turns and says to all the other characters, "It's going to be fun to play God." and then fade to black.
And
that was never going to work.
yeah, I could see.
Isn't that crazy?
I could see audiences really scratching their heads over that.
That's really that is a wild.
The questions would be even more so at the end of the movie.
Yeah, no.
I know it couldn't have worked, but it's fascinating to read about his idea.
It's literally Last Action Hero, but they're on Mars. Like if he's omnipotent or like knows what's going to happen or when danger is going to come in, it's like it'd just be the same personality as the Last Action Hero, where he knows what's going to happen or he's never going to get hurt.
I need to watch that movie again. Is it so horrible?
No, it's just Shane Black like having fun, just making fun of.
Did Shane Black write that? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. I want to see it.
It's just making fun of like how stereotypical all the action movies were back in the 80s and 90s.
You mean good?
Exactly.
How they used to be good and they're not anymore.
So I only have one more popcorn puzzle. And at the premiere of the film, Arnold Schwarzenegger stated in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, episode dated 16 July 1990, that the film was a cross between Star Wars: A New Hope,
oh yeah,
Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark,
I can see it.
Batman.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Correct.
Why not throw in Ghostbusters just to be safe?
Yeah. Can you imagine him like, this film is Star Wars and Indiana Jones?
Absolutely.
There's some Purple Rain elements in there too. I think that they made good use of.
All right, my last category is popcorn redemption, and then I want your guys' rating. So some of the things that I really liked about it were, like I mentioned, some of the large ads that are seen after Quaid gets off the subway are real signs featured above the subway stations in Mexico City, and I remember seeing those, so it was really cool to see the Fujifilm one and the Coke sign.
Yeah,
those were there when I was there. The other subway station was the Chabacano, and then the other one was Insurgentes. If you look those up, you can see pictures of them. It's pretty cool. The other part that I really like is the 2 weeks lady. Every single time in my life, when anyone says 2 weeks, I immediately go, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I have to always, so that's what I really liked. Anything else you guys really liked?
It wasn't.
Yeah, no, the squibs that were like,
the squibs.
Probably 5 times larger than the standard squib blood packet for the time,
and way more blood comes out too.
Yeah, that's like they get shot and it just looks like a chunk of them has been blown off, like just because of how absurd the.
Especially when he grabs that human shield.
Yeah, just like his body's getting chewed up.
Well, I love how the human shield is amazing because this guy gets riddled with 78 bullets, but yet none of them pierce the body. Like his corpse shield. Yeah, he just comes out of there unscathed. Like this guy's body is able to stop all this lead from going in from exiting his body and hurting Arnold.
Riddled.
Yeah, and then he just steps on his face afterwards. Anyways.
Yeah, Michael Ironside is
he's amazing.
Just the greatest character actor.
And the love story between Michael Ironside and Sharon Stone is so disgusting, but yet intriguing to watch.
It's really good.
Yeah, he just goes through the whole movie with menace. Yeah, great.
So great.
My whole thing was I remember seeing it as a kid, and there's the part when they get shot out into Mars at the end when they're all gasping for oxygen on the planet. Scared the living hell out of me. I remember just thinking like what it must be like if you got launched into space and how much pain you're going to be. That movie and Fire in the Sky terrified me of space in general and aliens. Ugh.
Space, the only thing that I can think of is my fear of the ocean, like being in the ocean and not knowing the depth of it and what's
lassophobia.
That if I were in space, I would feel the exact same way, and it tears.
But for all the directions.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Everywhere. There's no air.
You gotta have something solid to stand on.
Yeah. Well, the last popcorn redemption that I have is Schwarzenegger wore stunt pads to protect his genitals when they were filming the fight scene between Quaid and Laurie, which Laurie elbows and kicks Quaid in the genitals many times.
Mm-hmm. He gets crotch kicked quite a few times.
So many times. And I'm glad that he was protected.
He went on to have children with the maid.
That's why we wanted him to be protected.
Yep, and got divorced. And
oh, that's horrible.
Maria.
It's not.
Is it Melina or Maria?
Well, what's your rating, guys?
Yep, billion trillion stars. Again, the idea that this was like...
My favorite part of the show is the rating system.
This was like their big CG, like the equivalent of a big CG action.
They only
movie.
lasted 19 years. They lasted from 76 to 95.
But instead of a big action, like big PG-13 CG fest, they was this practical effects, R-rated absurd action film.
So awesome.
What a beautiful, beautiful brief.
It's like the Coen brothers. Like they just gave somebody a ton of money and said, "Have fun with it." Make a movie rather than having to micromanage and nitpick everything. And it worked out amazingly. Exactly.
Golden bucket for sure.
Oh, so you get a classy sound effect with your rating.
Well,
is that from the Halo soundtrack?
I don't know.
That's what I thought it was.
I gotta address this, Cole.
Yo.
Okay, our rating system is crazy, but it's consistent.
No. I know. It just makes me.
I have a 5-star. It's.
No. I'm not I'm seriously. I'm not criticizing the system. It's funny just the randomness because Taylor's rating it could make you think that it's the greatest movie of all time or.
Well,
I really only have 3 ratings.
His is like no stars or little stars.
No, it's some stars.
Some stars is the mediocre.
And then he says 1,000 stars, and then he says a billion trillion stars. He has 4.
Yeah.
And yours is out of 4.
Mine's out of 4.
And you always give 3 out of 4 all the time.
I was about to give this movie 3 out of 4.
Billion trillion stars.
I told you I like the rating system. It's the funnest part of the show.
The only movie that I can think of right now that you gave a 4 out of 4 was The Big Lebowski.
And Zodiac and Collateral and Heat. And Ronin. Ronin's also 4 stars. Ronan's amazing.
We didn't do Collateral or Ronin.
We did. We did Collateral when your kids were born.
Way before.
We did not record it, though.
No, we didn't record it.
It's been prehistory.
Prehistory.
I don't know. Handmaiden was either 3.5 or 4. That one was very high. That one wasn't low.
We did not.
The lost episode.
Oh, we didn't do that one.
Not record it.
We didn't do that
for
one either.
obvious reasons.
That's right. We can't broadcast that movie.
Go look
billion,
that up.
trillion, gazillion stars.
That was a good movie.
Yep, that's a good one.
So horrific.
Horrifically entertaining.
So good.
Oh, no. With that, any parting thoughts?
Hey, Sleepless Night was really good because I got a nap in it for 2 hours, so I give that one 3.5 stars.
Yeah, that was no stars.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think we recorded that either.
Yeah,
no, we didn't. That was
very boring.
Yeah,
I'm glad. Well, with that, hit me up on the Twitters and the Instas if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I respond to every tweet, post, comment, hashtag, and whatever else there is. Let us know if there's something you'd like us to review. In fact, yesterday...
Do you comment on Reddit posts?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No one has reached out to me on Reddit.
Okay, I'll make that... I'll change
Reddit.
that.
But someone did reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, and he's asked me to review a movie. And I'm going to pull this up right now because...
Chris has his first fan.
I have one fan. And he's from the UK.
Oh, nuts. He can't get... We need to get him to guest star.
Let's see.
Is it Edgar Wright? It's Edgar Wright, isn't it?
No, his name is Nick.
Why are you doxing this guy?
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. If I shouldn't have said your last name.
We're gonna edit that out.
Yeah.
That'll be bleeped.
I'll bleep your name. I'll bleep your name, Nick.
Air horn that last name.
But he's recommending that we watch The Beast of War.
Name and where he lived. He gave both away.
I didn't say where.
What was the make and model of his first car that he owned?
What?
What's the make and model of the first car that he owned and his mom's maiden name?
Yeah,
Oh,
perhaps the name of his first pet.
Mm-hmm. And what his elementary school he went to.
Can I just tell you what he recommended, please?
The Beast Within.
No, it's called The Beast of War, or also known as The Beast, from 1988. And he's saying that it was directed by Kevin Reynolds.
I know that name.
It was only released in 2 screens across the whole of the United States by Columbia Pictures. And he says, I say this is the best Hollywood film you've never heard of. Quentin Tarantino's old writing partner, Roger Avery, has it down as the best movie of 1998.
Roger Avery?
Yeah, he was the Pulp Fiction.
And he also has it down as one of his 20 desert island films. So apparently we're going to watch that.
The Beast Within? No, sorry.
You say Halloween.
The Beast of what?
It's called The Beast of War or The Beast.
1988 film.
And he says there's no... I think there's only one review on Rotten Tomatoes. But if Quentin Tarantino's writer said it's...
The crew of a Soviet tank become lost during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan.
Yeah. Well, Nick...
That sounds sick.
Nick, we're going to have it on the pod. But anyway, so to answer your question, I do respond to all my fan mail.
Taylor looks like Fat Jesus with his hair pulled back.
Oh, my gosh. I love movies and we love it if you share the love. Muchas gracias. Another way to share the love is sharing those dollars. I've created a Patreon account, like I mentioned before. If you have liked anything up to this point and want to support the show, or
you get access to your shared drive.
Yeah, I want to support the show so we can continue bringing these entertaining reviews. Please
intensely entertaining shows.
Please do so at patreon.com/popcorn priest. And like Cole just mentioned, if you donate to the highest tier, you get access to my movies. As always, thanks for listening, and thanks to my guests, Brain Wrap Barines and Noble Gas Tribe.
And Bearded Hippie Man.
What did you call him? Fat Jesus?
Fat Jesus.
Yeah, that's very, very hurtful. I'm sorry.
It's always a pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you. Join us next week for another review on Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest.